Everyone in the neighborhood had the same question. Why does that rich woman on Blossom Street have so many babies? Nobody ever saw her pregnant. Nobody ever saw her go to a hospital. But every few months, another baby would appear in her big white house. Some neighbors whispered, some stared, and some stayed far away. But nobody knew the truth until one day it all came out. And when it did, everything changed. This is the story of a woman named Aunty Remi. A story that started with confusion, grew into love, and ended with a whole neighborhood coming together. So sit tight, because you won't believe what really happened on Blossom Street. Blossom Street was a calm place. People kept to themselves. Everyone had a routine, but one house stood out. A big white house at the corner with golden gates, flower pots on every step, and a soft scent of baby powder in the air. That was Aunty Remi's house. She was wealthy, lived alone, no husband, no family that anyone knew of. But inside that house were babies. Lots of them. 6, 7, 8, some said 10. Nobody knew the exact number. But they all agreed on one thing. It was strange. Very strange. The neighbors began to talk. Did she adopt them? Are they hers? Maybe she's running a daycare? But nobody ever saw parents dropping kids off. No one saw nannies picking them up. And no one dared to ask her. Because Aunty Remi was kind, but private. She smiled at the market, helped the elderly, gave out food on Sundays. But when it came to her home, she kept the doors closed. Until one evening, when everything changed. It was a rainy evening, the kind of night when people rushed indoors and locked their gates. But Aunty Remi was out, in her car, driving slow through a quiet back street near the edge of town. Then she saw them, 3 teenage girls, wet from the rain, standing by a bush. One of them was crying, and beside them, something small was wrapped in a cloth on the ground. A baby, a real baby. Before Aunty Remi could ask anything, the girls looked at her, dropped the cloth, and ran. Gone. She ran to the baby. It was crying, shaking cold. She didn't think twice. She picked the baby up, wrapped it in her scarf, and took it home. That baby became the first. Weeks passed. Then it happened again. Another baby, this time in a box near the market. Then another, left by a shop door. Some came with short notes, some with nothing at all. But they all had one thing in common. They were abandoned. And each time, Aunty Remi took them in. No shouting, no announcement, just love. Now, don't get it wrong. It wasn't easy, feeding so many mouths, changing diapers day and night. Some nights, she didn't sleep at all. She used her savings, sold jewelry, canceled vacations. But still, she never turned a baby away. How can I leave them when no one else will? She once said to her cleaner. That's just who she was. Some days, she cried, but she never gave up. Back on Blossom Street, rumors were growing. Some folks said she was running a baby farm. Others thought she was doing it for money. A few brave ones even knocked on her door. But she gently turned them away. No interviews, no stories. Just let them grow in peace, she said. Still, the mystery grew. But so did the babies. And so did the joy inside that white house. Then one day, the noise stopped. The questions faded. Because the neighbors started noticing something else. Laughter. Pure, sweet, baby laughter. It came from the garden, the windows, the swings. And slowly, people began to smile when they walked past her gate. They saw little feet running on grass. Heard giggles. Watched chubby hands wave at them. One by one, they started helping. Mrs. Bimp dropped off baby clothes. Mr. Okoro fixed her leaking pipe. Even the grumpy Uncle Bello sent over a toy train set. What started as whispers became warmth. One Sunday morning, a shiny black car parked outside her gate. Out stepped a woman in a suit. Social services. Everyone held their breath. Are they taking the babies away? Someone asked. The officer knocked on the door. Aunty Remi welcomed her in with a calm smile. They talked. For hours. When the officer came out, she was smiling too. No rules were broken, she told the curious neighbors. What this woman is doing is a blessing. The crowd clapped. That day, Aunty Remi finally opened her gate, and the neighborhood stepped in. Blossom Street changed. What used to be quiet became cheerful. Kids from other homes came to play. Teenagers volunteered to help feed. Mothers brought over warm meals. Even people from other towns visited just to see the House of Little Angels. That's what they started calling it. The babies grew. They called her Mama Remi. She gave them names, taught them songs, and every time a new baby arrived, there was no shock anymore. Only love. One quiet night, Mama Remi sat on her porch. The babies were asleep. The stars were out. A friend asked her, "Why do you keep doing this?" She looked up and said, "Because when I was young, I had nobody. I used to wish someone would just hold me and say, 'You matter.' Now I get to say that to them every day." She never regretted a thing. Not the money, not the noise, not the mess. Because her house was full of love. And that was all she ever wanted. So if you ever pass by Blossom Street, listen closely. You might hear the laughter of a house that once held a secret, but now holds joy. Because one woman, wealthy not just in money, but in heart, chose to love what others left behind. And in doing so, she changed a whole neighborhood. Sometimes the biggest hearts are hidden behind the quietest doors. And sometimes the smallest babies carry the biggest stories. This was the story of Aunty Remi, the woman who made a home out of hope.